Welcome today to our fourth episode of Insert Innovation. And today we have Maegan Lujan.
Hi.
Technology strategist at Toshiba. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here. So the premise of this podcast is we like to bring in successful executives, CEOs, and entrepreneurs and ask questions and probe about how innovation is such an important thing in their field or in their career. How has it helped you overcome a challenge or develop as an executive or professional? And so we're very excited to have you. We like to get started by asking our guests to tell us a little bit about who they are and their background.
Yeah, absolutely. Innovation is something that just runs through my DNA, so this is a great opportunity to talk about that. I work, as you said, at Toshiba, and my job is a little bit like air traffic control. I have an opportunity to manage an entire tech stack of software and figure out how we bring that technology to market with inside of the Americas and most recently also internationally. So a lot of moving parts. I never knew our industry existed or people like I existed with inside of our industry. And honestly, it's the technology and the innovation that we do at Toshiba that just kind of wakes me up every day and keeps me moving forward fast.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Now, have you always been in the technology innovation space?
I have been, and it was because I chased my curiosity. I knew that I was always curious about technology, software, menu bars, trying to understand the way things worked, and was always just super analytical. And I think technology found me, and that curiosity that I deployed, now 20 years later, gave me the career path that I have today.
Fantastic. And then in your own words, how would you define innovation?
Oof. Great question. That is such a personal word to everybody. Innovation is not accepting the status quo, and innovation to me is flipping tables while being customer obsessed and looking for better ways of doing things. And I think that is the heart of the Toshiba culture. It is to always find a better way to do something that meets your customers' needs, and we innovate in so many ways because of that.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about LifeStamp branding?
Yeah, LifeStamp. So in 2020, I was in the process of launching my own personal brand. I had the opportunity for Toshiba to travel around the world and to stand up on stages, to be a marketing technology speaker. My name was getting out there, and a lot of people started talking about personal branding, and I didn't really know what that was. So I went through this process of trying to understand it, and I realized that what I do at Toshiba is the same thing that I needed to do for myself, which was identify who I was, what I wanted to do in this world, and really how to figure out how to show up for that. And so I created my own personal brand right as the pandemic was starting to hit and people were going on digital. And a lot of people resonated with my story, where I came from, being former foster youth, to my journey line now at Toshiba. And people started reaching out and wanting to know how they could build their brand. And so I started my own company, LifeStamp Branding, which helps people really understand themselves and figure out how to show up authentically digitally.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now we're going to dive into some more technical questions that we've compiled from the student audience.
All right, let's go.
All right. And I know you've kind of touched on this already. But the question is, in what ways has innovation played a role in your career or helped you attain your goals in life?
Ooh, that is such a broad question. What I would have to say is you have to have a growth mindset to really truly understand what innovation is. And for me, my growth mindset started when I was really young. I grew up in foster care. I was on my own at 14 years old, and I had to be resourceful. I had to solve problems in ways I didn't know how to solve problems. And I think that is really kind of the foundation of what it means to be innovative. It's to identify a problem, to see that the current solutions that are out there don't really meet the problems of today, and to go and to figure out how to make that change. And so while I didn't know what I was doing was embracing innovation younger in my years, continuing to do those small activities over a long period of time resulted in innovating my own life and creating the version of the person I am today. So
wow, you're like the epitome of innovation.
It's, you know,
well, a good example.
Quoting a good song, I started from the bottom now.
I love it. Without giving out any trade secrets, anything proprietary here, what is your process for coming up with solutions and ideas?
Truthfully understanding the problem. You cannot design a solution unless you truly understand the problem. And it's so much more than the surface level of that. You have got to, and this is really where consultative sales comes into play, you've got to understand and put yourself in your target audience or your target customer's mindset. Where are they at? What problems exist in their world? What pain points do they have? And honestly, you need to ask yourself if you can solve those pain points. And if you can, then that's where those solutions really come from. So that's what I would say is understanding the true problems you're trying to solve. And when you have that, is there alignment in terms of partnership? Do you have something that will help solve those problems? And if so, get at it, get to work.
Gotcha. And then in your process, can that happen in a short period of time? Does it usually take a longer period of time? Kind of like walk us through with the steps.
That's a great question, and I think you'd have to separate that on the human side or the technology and the process side. The human part is you're going to change when you're ready to change, and I think that's an individual thing for each of us. On the process side, there's a lot of change management inside of an organization that you generally have to get through, but you need executive buy-in and stakeholders that will allow for that to happen. So that doesn't happen overnight, but sometimes those changes are long and tedious and arduous, but they have to be for that reason. I would say change can start overnight. They start overnight with having the right mindset and being true with who you are and where you want to be, and taking actions to get there.
Fantastic. Can you tell us about a time when you thought a better way to do something at work or in development of a plan, and what did you do?
Oh goodness, I have this is my nutty professor brain, everything, and that's how I think every single day, you know? It could be, thinking about a better way to get to the nail salon so you're not sitting in traffic for 5 minutes, right? Because that sits in your head, or it could be, from running these big programs that we have at Toshiba. I'll give one example. When I was building my company LifeStamp, I went out and I sought tons of resources from anybody out there who knew how to build a personal brand or even a brand. And things were fragmented. There was resources all over the place, but nothing really helped identify for a human how to understand what your personal brand was, who you were, what you wanted, how to overcome some of those type of things. And so I went out there and I realized the right resource did not exist, and I decided to go and build one. And so I think that's where innovation really comes to life, is when you have a pain and you determine that pain becomes your passion, and your passion is then to solve it, and that breeds innovation.
Awesome. Well put, too. Now, can you share us with a story about a time someone you are inspired by had to come up with an innovative solution to overcome an obstacle or solve a problem?
Let's see, somebody I'm inspired by. Tell you a story about somebody I'm inspired by.
So this could be a public figure, this could be someone at work, this could be a mentor.
Yeah, I would say I would probably go back to where I serve at Orangewood, a local foundation for at-risk foster youth. When it comes to being an innovative organization, they absolutely are, because they meet the youth where they're at. And so the things that I have witnessed through supporting Orangewood is, going through the pandemic, the at-risk youth in our area, they faced a lot of different environmental circumstances that we would not have, right? Children were no longer in, in schools, so you were getting less reports on abuse. They were not able to go to resource centers because there was COVID. All of these different types of things, and working with Orangewood and understanding that the children that they were serving were no longer able to access their resources. They came up with innovative ways to meet the kids where they were at and to be able to deliver resources for what they needed today. That has then just created a sense of innovation inside of that organization where they're able to now boost up programs for, let's just say, an El Nino or an El Nino weather experience. When we have homeless youth, do they need cold weather packs or warm weather packs? And so these are ways they think outside of the box and innovate as the world changes around them to still better serve their target audience, the at-risk youth.
That's amazing. And how long have you been engaged in business or working with the organization?
I've been working with Orangewood for now a little over 4 years. I got engaged through a mentorship program that I was at Toshiba. The then CEO, I was his protege, and he knew about my background, and he asked me, what are some of your biggest strengths and your biggest weaknesses? And, I had to quite frankly tell him, I'm former foster youth. I didn't go to high school. I don't have a college degree. And I have imposter syndrome that I won't be able to continue to grow in corporate America or achieve what I want. And he told me, quite frankly, that I had already made it and I need to give up, what I think I need to be on paper and to go back out into the community and to support the areas that broke my heart. And he partnered me up with Orangewood. 4 years later, it's changed my life, and my heart smiles in ways I never thought possible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that piece of advice had a major impact on you.
It did, because I was seen for my biggest weakness, and I was given a growth opportunity to innovate from within side of myself, to move beyond the office and put that into action. And that's why I am such an advocate for being a mentor and to reaching out and to supporting the youth out there, because I truly believe if I didn't have somebody who showed me a new ceiling or a new version of who I could become, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So. Right.
And you lived through it.
I did.
So you're a very credible source on how to do
you
that.
You could say that. You could.
Now, what new innovations do you think will shake up your particular industry in the next 5 years?
Just 2 letters right now happening. AI. AI. Oh, man. I'm on the software side. I've been in software my entire career. I'm a software strategist, so we saw this coming. I've been tinkering with AI for several years now, Gen AI specifically. I use it in my agency many, many, many times a day. We use it at Toshiba. It's in every single Microsoft application that we have. AI truly is a co-pilot. It will attach to everything that you do as an individual, but I think that most people need to stop demonizing what they think AI is going to be, particularly Hollywood. And we got to get into this conversation of what does it look like to use it as a co-pilot, as Microsoft has said. And so I'll give you an example, which I'll quickly release to the world here, but I can't wait for you guys to follow along on. A use case for AI is I was at my office and I had to deliver a report for Toshiba for all of our activities that we had done with Orangewood. I had just been given access to Microsoft Copilot. And when they ask for these reports, they're like an entire year's worth of work. And as a manager, that would take me so much time to do because I would have to stop my work meetings and I would have focused time to actually knock it out. Well, I went into Copilot and I said, Copilot, give me all activities with the right prompts, right? From this range to this range with these keywords. And it dumped out an entire report. We submit this. 2 weeks later, I find out we win the Toshiba Global Award for Philanthropy. I get the opportunity, thank you Copilot and AI, to now be a chaperone to our Toshiba Exploravision in DC, and AI helped us tell our story. So use it.
There's a lot of people I feel like need to hear that.
Yeah, use it. It's here to help you.
Right.
It's productivity at first. The rest of it in terms of products and how you're going to use it in the other area of your business, like that'll get there organically, but just find a way that it helps improve your day-to-day, right? It's the new Google,
Efficiency
is definitely it, and I was on a meeting with a lot of our executives and there's concerns. Well, how will I know it's AI and, not my employees? Will my employees, be able to hide behind AI and it not actually show their work and their capabilities? And I was like, hang on, hand up here. Do you guys remember when spell check hit, the technology? We all use spell check today, but I don't look at your emails and say, well, he's only writing this good because he used spell check. Right. AI is just going to be in everything that we use, and we got to get used to it.
Right. Great point. And a good segue into the next question. What are the technologies or innovations that you're most excited about?
I think I'm most excited about the understanding of technology, and I think the user level kind of raising up. What we have experienced since COVID has been an accelerant to digital transformation, people going online, and quite frankly, an upskill of knowledge around technology for every generation. Every single generation now knows how to mute their phones, how to dial into conference links, how to do video chat, and I think the thing I'm most excited about is the connectivity that technology upskill has brought into this world. So I love the fact that it's still there and it's continuing to grow, and I think that's the thing I'm most excited about is connectivity with technology.
Amazing. Would you say these new technologies, some AI or others that you're excited about, are bringing people closer together or creating a bigger gap between humans?
What I would say is human character dictates the outcome of how AI will be used, just like any tool. If you gave me a hammer and I was a good person, I'm gonna go use it to build a house. If you gave me a hammer and I'm a bad person, I'm gonna go use it to bust open a window or whatever bad people do with said hammer. So AI is a tool. You can train your AI to do the things that you want it to do. And so what I would say is, are you a good person, and should you be trusted to use AI out there in the real world? And I think the governance of how AI is used should be scrutinized completely.
Yes, I totally agree. Now, who would you consider one of your favorite innovators?
One of my favorite innovators? I would say disruptors would probably be Gary Vee to Elon Musk. I mean, these are the controversial people out there innovating in ways, whether you agree or not, you cannot ignore.
Right. And are there any specific initiatives or programs or products or companies they've launched that have inspired you in any way?
I think it's their approach to market really that's inspired me the most. I think as a strategist, I see where they're going and they know where the market is going, and they're constantly leading and disrupting to get us there. Whether or not you're in alignment with their beliefs and their values as an organization, you can't help but sit back and see the action and the results of their hard work and their conviction. And that's why I really say, and it's super strong, that you align to the brands that you have the same values with, right? That you can have that type of alignment, because then you're going to respect their innovation and trust it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And thanks for going into a little more detail there. Now, do you have any practical advice or resources, tools that could be useful for entrepreneurs, startups, or just aspiring innovators?
On any topic?
I would say on how they can utilize innovation to benefit their project or aspirations.
Yeah, what I would say is, as a current entrepreneur or somebody who just has a dream inside of your heart that won't go away, you have more resources available to you now than you ever have before. And there are so many people out there who want to help support you to build that dream and that vision. You just have to be able to stand up with confidence and walk down the path that you know you were supposed to be on. And so if you want it, you're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to reach out for the right resources, make the right connections, and most importantly, be true to yourself. This is not an easy path that you are choosing. This is a difficult path, but the people who stick to it, as you know, who truly believe that they are entrepreneurs, who live for this stuff, they flip the tables, they innovate, and they change the world because they believed in it to begin with.
Right. And any practical advice an entrepreneur could take home with them if they do, experience a hurdle or a challenge or an obstacle? And have there been, and I think you've touched on it earlier in the conversation, but anything you've ever used specifically that helped you overcome challenges, obstacles in your career?
I would say practical advice is, whatever you're going through, up or down, it's a season, right? Not everything is going to just flow in the way that it needs to go. What I think your main focus should be as an entrepreneur is to find the team that does the job better than you. You have the dream, you have the vision, so stay in your lane and get the right resources to help you execute, whether those are internal resources, outsourced resources, internet resources, technology resources, whatever those may be. Figure out the right resources to enable that. For me personally, I don't like to live into the weeds of the data, but if I didn't have the data, I couldn't be a strategist. So I need to partner with somebody who loves to be in the data all day, every day to do my job. And so practically speaking, don't expect yourself to do it all. But if you have to do it all, learn everything and be prepared to translate that to somebody else who can help support you. In terms of things I have used to get myself kind of to the next level, LinkedIn, quite frankly, and reading books. The resources are out there. The people are out there to network with. You got to dig in and do the work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice. The resources are there.
Yeah, they are.
And it just takes a little bit of elbow grease.
Yeah.
Maegan, thank you so much for coming on today. Is there places online that our student listeners can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would send you guys to LinkedIn. So go on ahead and just Google Maegan, and I'll probably be the first Maegan that pops up. You'll see my LinkedIn, my website, and also my company page. And if we can help you guys in any way to create your brand online and help you show up digitally, we're here to support.